Welcome back to the PPA, everybody. Today, you might have seen me on here probably more and more times. This is my almost 4th year on YouTube. So, but we have a lot of new people here. So if you don't know who he is, that's my brother. So, yep, and then
What's up, people? What's up, CP Live?
We have a new face, Mindy, and this is his fiancé. So, yeah, they're soon to be married, and today we will be talking about how to introduce a new person into a happy family and remark who we make and stuff like that. So that's how I'm to hear about that. And like this video, subscribe if you're new and leave a comment if there's any questions we didn't cover. Okay, so my first question for you is, when starting a relationship, were you worried what people might think of you when you met me, and how did you bring the topic up?
Let's see. To answer your question, no, I never worried about mentioning you to any people I met or any new people in my life. I always enjoyed it. It's maybe we're lucky we just have such a great relationship, and I love talking about you, and I love bringing you up to a new person, and but I understand how people, it can be tough. People have different lives, and families are affected differently by children with special needs and people with special needs. So I can understand it. Could be a sensitive subject. It's a big undertaking for some people. Families. Someone who's not used to being in a family with someone with special needs, it can be different. It can be a lot to undertake. It can be a learning experience and everything. So, for me specifically, it hasn't been too bad, and I've always enjoyed, introducing people to you, and that's about it.
I feel like it depends on your diagnosis too, and what you need, and what your family will need in the future. Remember, I'm 20, he's 28, 29.
29. Yeah.
And so, as I get older, and there might be many of you watching this channel, you might have already experienced this, but there might come a time where your primary family are not around anymore. So,
so there's definitely some responsibility there that you need to understand, and that someone who's coming into the situation needs to understand.
And that definitely be hard. So why not?
Yeah, totally. I understand that.
Yeah. Okay, so Mindy, what were your first thoughts or worries when you first heard about me, and how have they changed since knowing me?
I think when I first met you, I was just nervous. I was nervous that maybe I wasn't going to say the right thing, or I wasn't going to do the right thing. But I don't know, your personality is just like, I feel like our personalities meshed really well. So I just lost those nerves, and I would just want you to be your 100% authentic self around me. So I just dropped those nerves, and I just was going to be my 100% authentic self around you. So, so over time, it's definitely changed. I feel like, we get along really well, and I'm not as nervous anymore. I definitely I'm open to communicating. I'm open to asking questions, and I do just that. So I like our relationship a lot.
Yeah, and that's really important that you, as the disabled individual, communicate your needs because Matt has known me for 20 years, and Mindy, how many years?
About 2.5. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we're still learning how to handle things as a team of two when Miss isn't around.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, yeah, Lindsay definitely had some questions at the beginning, and I think that's the right thing to do. Is just to ask questions to, you know, someone who has been around and understands what your life is like and things like that. So, yeah, I think questions are good, and as long as you're coming at it with, you know, kindness and everything, you don't have to worry too much about saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Especially around you, Anna. You know, you're a very easygoing person.
Yeah, and we actually coming in here, we had a
Yep, so coming into the room, we were out at the dinner table, and, you know, as I'm around Anna more and more, like, I want to be able to step up and help out transferring Anna and just doing some of the things that her family helps out with too. She is my family, so I want to step up and I want to do that and be there for her as well. So it's a learning experience. I'm constantly asking, you know, how what was that? Your Alexa.
The fish talking? Oh, the Alexa.
But yeah, I'm constantly asking, you know, if when I'm transferring her, you know, is this the correct way? Are you comfortable? And I get that feedback from Anna. I get it from her family. And
should I be stepping on your heels?
Yeah, should I be stepping on you, Anna? Is that right? But yeah, it's just, you always just have to have an open line of communication, or you're never gonna learn. And it's fun. It's good.
Yeah,
We have a good time.
I think being willing to actually try and know out the matter independently. Mindy and I done it a couple of times. In the past couple of months, I needed things that are meeting.
Right. Yep, something that I can't
it's not
always
like
handle.
but you may not want to. How are we making different from age nor we making them due to my cerebral palsy? And do you think if I didn't have a disability, things would be different?
Okay, so can you repeat the first one? Can you repeat the first question? I kind of forgot it when you were going into the second one. Sorry.
How are we making them different from a and are we making
right? Well, I've never had a sister-in-law relationship, so I'm not 100% sure how it's different. So far, it's been really great. I don't think it necessarily would be any different if you didn't have a disability. Obviously, with your disability, we have to do things that are more accessible for you, so it's easier for you to get around and things like that. So yeah, I mean, I feel like if you didn't have a disability, I feel like maybe your interests, your hobbies, things like that would be different. So maybe in that aspect, it would be different, but so far I love our relationship and I love this sister-in-law relationship that we have. And I think it's great. We have a lot of fun together.
Anna, have you had any sister-in-law relationships before?
No, but I was saying that I was saying that I feel like with any of my relationships, it's more personal.
Right.
Too.
Right.
More of a personal care needs. And
right.
I don't have to be over that here. Hey, I need this, and not a pleasant thing that I need, but it needs to be done.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And those, I mean, from my perspective, those things just kind of become automatic after a certain amount of time, and our normal relationship grows after that. Once you kind of like understand what's necessary.
Right.
Totally. Yeah.
Do you think your relationship dynamic this is for you both? Do you think your relationship dynamic has changed due to having a sibling with special needs? And if so, how?
So I'll start with that one. Our relationship dynamic has definitely not changed. If anything, it's gotten stronger because Mitchell is just does so well with Anna, and it just like makes me so happy seeing them together. And I'm just so grateful and happy that, when we start having kids, that he's gonna be that really great caretaker for our children as well, because he just does such a great job being your caretaker. And I'm forever grateful for that. So if anything, it's made our relationship a lot stronger.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. What advice do you guys have for siblings, especially people who want to support a relationship but don't know how with someone with special needs in their family?
Yeah. Advice. I mean, every situation is different, and every person's ability is a different obstacle or a different set of circumstances. So I would say just try to be honest. Try to be ask a lot of questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid of a scenario, because kids that grow up with disabilities, I think, are some of the strongest kids out there, and I don't think you're going to hurt their feelings if you accidentally say the wrong thing, things like that. So so don't be afraid to just go in there and try to make a friend. And I know it can be different and it can be hard, and like we said before, it can be a big life change, entering a family with someone with special needs, because it does require work. It's an extra load that you have to be upfront with your friend or partner, whoever you're meeting. You be upfront with them, say this is my life, and this is part of my life. So if you want to be in my life, this is what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think from my perspective, you also have to try. Like, I know some people who want to say that not different types of communication devices, and that may be a reality for you. And somebody who's coming in, and if you're not ready for that, or you're not the right match, because everyone communicates differently. So.
I would say my biggest piece of advice is kind of going off what Mitchell said. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to communicate. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Just don't be afraid to ask questions. Just make a friendship, build a relationship, and it'll be really rewarding, and it's been so fun. So it's worth it.
Yeah, I had so much fun with you in my life. And it's been so much fun to see you two both here when we hang out, and the things that we all do together is wonderful.
It really is. We have a lot of fun together. It's really fun.
Yeah.
That's about it. If you might have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments, or if they're personal questions, you're welcome to DM me on Instagram, or the information is down here. And thank you guys for being on my channel.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Absolutely.
We love it.
So much fun. And I look